Alright, we are back with more magic. Xmage had some technical difficulties, I guess. The server I usually play on is having some troubles, I guess, after the update. This hand is a mulligan because it has 2 Hooting Mandrills, 4 lands, and a Goyf. I don't like it at all. This hand is good. We've got Cantrip, 2 lands, threat, couple counters. Looks great. We're on the draw. Don't remember if I mentioned it because I immediately started talking about stuff. So, the server I usually play on, xmage.de, I believe it is having some troubles. Maybe too many people, maybe the update screwed it up, I don't know. Supposedly that's why we didn't sideboard last game, or last match, against Bant Eldrazi. Our opponent probably didn't either, because in the chat people were saying they were having the same problem. And I'm assuming not everyone talks a bunch before they go to sideboard. I'd love to keep that. So we're going to draw a bolt, which is fantastic. We can either visions or bolt on turn 1. I like it. As is, we're just... Our opponent went Bloodstained Mire Pass. That could be a whole host of decks. The only reason I would really want to hold up Denial would be if I suspect Dredge. And I don't think we have a huge reason to want to either save 2 life or snipe out Dredge, as opposed to just getting the Serum Visions out of the way. So I think Serum Visions is the right play. We're going to do that. Right now I'm on the North American server instead, Woogerworks. It's apparently working. I couldn't even get into a game afterwards on the other one, so this is where we're going to be. I probably just leave both of these on top because I can fetch away the mandrills. If it's bad, I do want the land. So that's the plan. And now we're here playing Magic, so nice. We play Magic again. Seems good to me. So, there will be videos. Fantastic. Cheers. Bloodstained Mire. Stomping Ground Swamp, maybe Jund. Looks like Jund. Cool. Nothing wrong with playing against Jund. Do I want the second Mandrills? Probably against Jund. I really want to bolt this Bob, though. This is actual Jund, too, not Death's Shadow. That's nice. So we can either play the Misty or play the Forest. I think we play the Misty just because it gives us more options. I do want that Mandrills, but I also very much enjoy being able to Stubborn Denial Liliana of the Veil, so we're going to leave that open. This is not a Liliana. It is a Goyf. That's bad. We're going to let ourselves draw that hoots. We might need it. Okay, so now, land. We're going to fetch out an island, leave up the Mana Leak. Or, sorry, not the Mana Leak. We're going to have Stubborn Denial up, which means we're still playing around Liliana. Playing around Liliana is extremely important against Abzan and Jund. This question has been asked, or I guess not even specifically this question. We've discussed it at least 2 times in the MTG Salvation thread, maybe 3. You want to play around Liliana. If Liliana resolves and makes you sack your only creature, and you don't immediately have a bolt, you're pretty close to losing the game. If you do have a lightning bolt, you're in a really bad spot because you just got 2 for 1. And you probably paid at least 2 mana, maybe even 3 if it was Goyf plus Bolt. If it's Delver plus Bolt, I guess it's not quite as bad. If it's Goyf plus Bolt, you got 2 for 1 off the same amount of mana. So basically, Liliana is pretty close to Lights Out against us, as close to Lights Out as you could possibly get. It's unfortunate that we're going to counter it too, because Goyf is going to be a 4/5. But we do have Mandrills number 2, so soon enough, it's a Dismember instead. Okay, now we have to actually think. Also, are they tapping the swamp? They tap the swamp. We don't have to worry about Liliana this turn. Denial. If they tapped one of the non-black sources, I would be racking my brain trying to figure out whether or not I should counter Dismember or let Mandrills die and try to counter a Liliana. They could have Lightning Bolt. I'm gonna block. If they have Lightning Bolt, we trade Goyf for Hoots. That seems okay. Or does it? I don't know. I don't know. I think I take it. I can hold up counters. Yeah, I'll just take it. I'm not super worried about dying immediately. Plus, if we can make the assumed Lightning Bolt in their hand dead, I'm pretty okay with it. No follow-up Goyf, which is good. If we Thought Scour, we use the island, we put 3 cards in the bin. If I don't draw a land, I cannot Hoots and have Denial up, so as is, I think we just hold up all sorts of instants, and of course, we have a 3-turn clock, so we're gonna work on that. Let's go to end step, I think. I don't believe I want to main phase this Scour. Makes their Goyf bigger, probably. We don't want to Hoots immediately. I want to hold up my counters. I'm hoping we can counter a Liliana and either a second spell or end step a Thought Scour and slam another Mandrills. That'd be pretty fantastic. If they swing with the Ravine, we could have trouble, but it looks like they're not doing that. I appear to be winning this race, so I'm pretty happy with that. Pia and Kieran Nalar. Let's counter that. That seems like a pretty good Mana Leak target. And we get to Thought Scour now. If they don't have a land, we're just going to do it. If they play a land, we might have held up Denial. As is, let's do that. Does Goyf get bigger? It'll probably get smaller anyways. There's the first sorcery we've seen. Ooh, Curiosity. Yes. So we have 5 cards in the bin. We delve all of them. We play Curiosity, and we have Denial up. God damn, I love this game. So we're going to do that, knock our opponent down to 4. We have a second Mandrills, but I do still want to delve everything, because if they deal with our board, they're putting a bunch of cards in the graveyard, and then we play another Mandrills. Matches against Jund, specifically Game 1 against Jund, normally does not go this well. So I don't think this is indicative of our matchup with Jund. But I am enjoying it all the same. Let's get this stuff out of here. Make that a 3-4. You don't need a huge Goyf. Go to end step. I will very happily. So now we very happily hold up Stubborn Denial. We have 2 lethal attackers, which is great. Tarma Goyf is good. Unfortunately, it means, well, unfortunately for them, it means they cannot use the Raging Ravine. Bob is also good. I imagine they block Goyf on Mandrills, Goyf and Bob on that Mandrills. That's fine. Lightning Bolt. Dope. Absolutely dope. Let's get in there. The onus is on them to figure it out, so I'm 90% sure these attacks are correct, because we're getting rid of our opponent's board. Yeah, they do that. They don't want to take damage there. They're not going to take damage there. Do I want to kill Goyf or Bob? I'm going to kill Goyf, because I have a Lightning Bolt in hand. And Bob should serve us at least sufficiently well. If they don't reveal an island off of it, they just die. We're going to play Delver, hold up Denial. If they take any damage off of that Bob, we're just going to shoot him in the face. If they don't, we have Denial up. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, you really want to play around Liliana of the Veil. That's a bolt. That should do it. Liliana of the Veil, if you play around it, let's say you have you're on the draw against Jund. I'm going to sideboard while I do this, because we don't want a bunch of games where I just fail to sideboard because I don't shut up. So, you're on the draw. You have a Goyf in your hand and a Mana Leak in your hand. You can cast both. You have the lands. You have 2 lands in play. You have the option of slamming Goyf on 2. Let's say they played, I don't know, a couple tap lands. They discarded something out of your hand, say another counter spell, a Denial, on turn 1. Turn 2, they played a Raging Ravine, tapped, and now it's your turn. You can slam your Goyf, or you can hold up Mana Leak. You almost always want to hold up Mana Leak, especially because they don't have a board. If they at least played a Goyf, you have some amount of incentive to get on board so they don't just beat you down. But if their board is empty, you need to be playing around Liliana of the Veil, because if you don't, so you guys know, I don't like these 4 cards against Jund. Sweepers seem bad. They don't usually have artifacts or enchantments. They might bring in a Leyline of the Void, but I mean, we're not going to do a lot against that anyways, and they don't have great graveyard targets. If you play around Liliana, you hold up Mana Leak. If they cast Liliana and you Mana Leak it, awesome, you didn't get blown out. If they don't cast Liliana and they play, say, another Goyf, you can always Mana Leak that. That's not the end of the world. If they just do nothing, well, you did nothing, but they also did nothing, so you're not that far behind. But if you play into the Liliana and they don't have it, neat. They probably have a Terminate or something, so your Goyf is dead anyways, chances are. If it survives, cool. And if they do have the Liliana, they make you sack your dude, and you're extremely close to losing the game on the spot. So play around Liliana. It's really important. All of these cards are great against Jund. We got 2-for-1s, we got Goyf removal. I actually might not bring in the Dismember because I do want these EEs. EE on 2 seems amazing. Blood Moon. They have Raging Ravine. They have all sorts of stuff. We want to get rid of Thought Scours, I believe. That's generally what we do. They're going to fill up our graveyard for us. Might keep Curiosity, might cut a Mandrills, but he's really good in this matchup. Especially, we saw that Fatal Push they revealed at the end there. I would love for them to have that stuck in hand. I need to cut more cards. Oh, I like to cut a couple of Lightning Bolts. I like Tarfire because Traverse and Goyf. Bolt, though, can deal with... Man, let's cut a Denial. Let's cut the Dismember. Like I said in the previous one, or previous match, Dismember's mostly here for the Eldrazi decks. I can live with not having it against Goyf because we still have Vapor Snag and Simic Charm. So, I really lose my place a lot because I just don't shut up. I gotta work on that. I don't remember what I was talking about. I know I was talking about Liliana. I was talking about post-board stuff at some point. We're going to play around our Blood Moon. I don't want to play this Engineered Explosives even... I'm not even close to wanting to play this EE because it's here for when the Goyfs and Bobs are here. If I play this on 1 or 0, I'm doing myself a huge disservice. If this is a Bob, I probably bolt it and then slam Goyf. Seems good to bolt it and slam Goyf. If it's a Goyf, it also is getting bolted. So that's a Bob. We're going to get a Stomping Ground and then an Island. I almost always favor Stomping Ground Island as my 2-land configuration because blue spells are the most important things we have generally. Them getting Swamp is peculiar. Now, I'm in that situation. Okay, well, I drew a Mana Leak, so now I'm going to play around Liliana. If I don't, I'm going to sound like quite the hypocrite. A. B. They already have double black. C. They have nothing on board yet. There's not a lot of downside to playing around a Liliana here. So we're going to. Oh, wow. Holy. I actually want to counter that. We're playing against the Blood Moon version of Jund that packs moons in its sideboard. I'm going to slide this over here because that's probably not going to do work. I want to counter this because I have Goyf and Mandrills in my hand. If I had a green source, a forest, specifically the forest because once Blood Moon's down we can't fetch. If I had the forest, I would let that resolve in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, I can't. They may have been... Here's the other tricky thing about Liliana. They could have been using that Blood Moon to bait out a counterspell. At this point, if they have Liliana, I'm pretty close to screwed anyways, because if a Liliana resolves while you don't have something on board, it's just about equal to or worse than a Liliana resolving while you do have something on board. So basically, the downside of playing Goyf just went away because we no longer have a counterspell. Now, if I had a Stubborn Denial and a third land, I would slam that Goyf and rejoice. But as is, Liliana basically screws us no matter what. We're going to Tarfire that. It will get the ETB off, but we will be Tarfiring. Oh, Spell Snare is good because Goyf is something I don't want to deal with. So let's deal with that before it becomes a headache. Let's get in there. Being able to play around their Goyfs is really nice here because Goyf is a 5/6 right now. And I like when we have 5/6s. I don't like when the other guy has 5/6s. We still have a very good chance of seeing a Liliana come down anytime now. But really, we can't do anything about it. And if they do go Lily, make you sack Goyf, at least we can play Mandrills. So, it's not all bad. Fulminator Mage is, however, bad. That only targets non-basics? I really want to not have them do that immediately. Just, chump Goyf and then blow it up. That's what you should do. That is definitely the play, sir. There we go. We got to tap our Stomping Ground. That's all I ever wanted. I will happily shrink this Goyf to get Mandrills down pre-combat. Now, of course, we're going to swing Goyf into it. Do I want to use Curiosity yet? I think since they're almost certainly putting us on one land, I don't want to Curiosity. Plus, I Curiosity now, I put it on Mandrills. Goyf does nothing. I put it on Goyf, they do this, and I lose the Curiosity trigger anyways. So I think we're better off holding up Spell Snare. Happens. It's very unfortunate that it happens, but it does happen. Being on one land means we cannot effectively use EE, so I would like to hold up this Spell Snare as opposed to slamming Curiosity. Our opponent has quite a bit of life and quite a few lands, but we do have the tempo right now. And are they just flooding out? Huh. So if we go for Curiosity and they have Terminate, we're in a little bit of a bad spot. At least Curiosity goes to the bin and grows Goyf in that scenario, though. If we just attack, we can then play Delver, but I think we should play around Damnation right now, so I like the Curiosity play. There's also the fact that we could be holding up Spell Snare, but I'm not too into that right now. I'm not feeling it. I think I would rather go for the draw me a bunch of cards play. Plus, Curiosity can help us find more lands. We connected. Our opponent just seems to be flooding out. Yeah, I want to draw. That's not a land. More so, it's a 2-mana spell that we might not even be able to cast off of our next land drop. Kolagon's Command, get back Huntmaster, I imagine? Makes me discard Blood Moon. Huntmaster comes down. It is at least somewhat unfortunate that Huntmaster is here, but we have a pretty good board too, so I'm not super scared. Shock, Scoos, this could be bad. Oh geez. Oh geez. I need Lightning Bolt, or Tarfire, and a land yesterday. That is literally impossible. So we're just going to... Oh man, this is so bad for us. This is absolutely terrible. If we play Delver, they're going to either just pass or animate the Ravine. Huntmaster kills Delver. If we Serum Visions, we can hope to find something. Okay. I think I should have Serum Visions before attacking because I could theoretically set up my Curiosity draw, but I think they just block Hoots? No, they're just chumping Goyf. They're just staying alive. Okay. I was thinking they use Scoos and the token to take out Hoots, but I guess this is technically better. So we do want to play a spell. I could play a 2-mana EE. Hope they don't get a Kolagon's Command, and then we can take out Scavenging Ooze. Then we have to deal with Huntmaster and Raging Ravine. I can't get both red and green mana because we already used and lost the Stomping Ground. One line I could do is play the Delver, but like I said, I don't like that. So I think I'm just going to go for the EE. Get a Steam Vent. Red mana or green mana? Kind of like green mana more. Yeah, let's grab the Breeding Pool. Pretty much, basically, if we get exactly Island and Forest as our next land drops, we can't play Huntmaster. But other than that, we're pretty fine. Green and blue, we want to make sure we don't screw up the explosives. 2, 1, and 2. Do that. Explosives comes down, we're going to need it. Because I can't deal with Scavenging Ooze. Could theoretically bounce it, but I think I'd rather deal with it permanently, given that they have 4 green sources here. And Scooz is just going to do all the work it can before it goes to the wayside, I guess. Are we dead? I should have checked if we were dead. Because it's possible they grow Scooz enough. Raging Ravine requires 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4. This, I believe, not 5, just 4. I don't know why they exiled K-Man to shrink the Goyf. Seems weird given that I'm pretty likely to use the explosives anyways, but hey. You do you, opponent. They played a spell. I don't really like that from our opponent's perspective. We're obviously going to take all of this damage because we don't really have a choice. Second Goyf would be great if I could pop explosives and play it. I am attacking with the Mandrills. That's certainly step 1. I cannot crack the explosives and cast a spell, which means Huntmaster is going to do awful things to us. Drawing another Goyf. So do I just want to ignore the Scavenging Ooze at this point? Because I can play Tarmogoyf. We're at 7. If I blow up the Scooz, we are dead because they can attack us and do terrible, terrible things. All they have to do is swing with Scooz and Huntmaster and Finks. Transform Huntmaster, we die. Throw in a Raging Ravine, we're extra dead. So I believe what we want to do here is some blocking. They continue to shrink Goyf. Well, at least they can chump. That's the important thing. We probably do need to deal with that Scavenging Ooze, though, before we play our next Goyf. Which is very unfortunate because we are extremely low on mana. We might even just be dead, but we're going to find out. Block a couple guys. Yeah, this game is in the books. Rather unfortunate. The Huntmaster transformation is going to get us. That becomes a 4/4. They have Xaxes. Attackers have been declared. We're going to block the 2 4/4s, take 5, Huntmaster transforms, and we are out of there. We do have game 3 though, so we're hoping to come back swinging. Huntmaster does his thing. Unfortunately, Huntmaster did his thing for the wrong team. Now, they do know we have Blood Moon, but I still think discarding Blood Moon was a good idea because it was quite dead that game, and I'd rather have a live card. So we did give them that amount of information. It's possible they side out their Blood Moons. I might even want to side out mine, but making Scavenging Ooze bad and making Raging Ravine bad make me really want to have these Blood Moons. We're going to revisit our sideboard, though. I might want this Dismember. We took out a Mana Leak, a Shoal, a Denial for counters. Do I want Lightning Bolt more than Tarfire? We didn't see, well actually we did see Graveyard Hate in the form of Scavenging Ooze, So maybe I want to just abandon these traverses. Huh. We do have answers to scavenging ooze, though. So I don't think traverse is going to be super dead. Plus it can find land drops, makes moon better, makes huntmaster better. I'm not totally against the card. I kind of want this dismember, though. Still don't want any of these. Surgical, thought scour. I think dismember lightning bolt would be the most likely thing to come in. I could see ditching a Tarfire, but it kills so much of their deck. Bolt is only slightly better in hitting Ravine and doing extra damage to the face. Maybe it's slightly better at bolting Goyfs, but how often am I bolting Goyfs? So since we already have answers to Ravine, answers to big guys, maybe I just don't even change how I boarded. We're going to be on the play, so that helps. Hopefully we'll have a nice hand. I think I might just want to keep this, but I still kind of want this dismember. Let's assume we don't want bolt. We still want the 2-2 split of burn spells. What is worse than dismember? Maybe the second traverse? Second snapcaster seems excellent, assuming we hit some more land drops. It's weird that they're on the mana denial game against us. Maybe I lighten our curve a bit, but that seems wrong. That seems at least somewhat wrong. On the play, Mana Leak gets a little better, so I don't want to cut that. Denial is awesome here. Simic Charm I could see cutting. Yeah, let's cut Simic Charm. It's the most mana-intensive card in our deck right now, needing both green and blue. And yeah, I think that's a good idea. Part of Simic Charm's job is to deal with the big things. Dismember does a little bit of that without requiring any colors. So I think that's not a bad idea. We're going to be on the play because that's great. And we're going to mulligan this. We can't cast anything currently, and we're very far from this Blood Moon. So let's do that. Hopefully we get the good stuff. Game 3 against traditional Jund mid-range. What a shame, too. If Blood Moon was an island, this hand would be pretty good. And I'm not really missing that hand right now. We're going to probably go Delver into Goyf. Traverse is going to be really bad unless they totally strip our hand, so let's get rid of it. Turn 1, Delver. Actually, I might not even want to play Goyf on 2. It's entirely possible we don't. If we top deck a fetch land and they kill our Delver, that's a different story. Playing Goyf with nothing in the yard seems really, really loose against a deck that has access to red mana and is known for playing Lightning Bolts. Now, it is possible they aren't playing Lightning Bolt, because I don't think I've actually seen it. And I do believe there is a build of Jund running around that doesn't run Lightning Bolt. Here's a Dismember. Dismember on Delver. Dismember is a more catch-all removal spell than the likes of Fatal Push and Bolt. So I am extremely skeptical of their hand right now if they're dismembering Delvers, because I would much rather push a Delver than dismember it. This could be their Goyf. It's a Bob. That's a thing I would be willing to dismember because that has some serious upside. We can dismember and play Goyf, which means we sort of play around Liliana of the Veil by having 2 creatures instead of 1. I actually quite like that. We're going to end up at 8 life, which is extremely low, but we're ahead on board. EE is going to be really bad. Dark Confidant is probably their best way to pull ahead this game, I think, because of how far ahead we're about to get on board. So I do believe I want to use Dismember. Now I'm going to give him the option of chump blocking before I do so, because then I could theoretically save myself a bunch of life, or dismember a Goyf if they have that as follow-up. As is, we're going to be dismembering this. Pay the life. Geez, that's a lot. We are at 10. We paid dearly for the chance to get rid of that Bob. I think it's going to pay off. I hope it's going to pay off. I hope dearly that it will pay off. If this is a Liliana, there wasn't anything we could do besides playing our second Goyf. So I am confident this was the best line for that. It's a Scavenging Ooze, which is awful for us. That eats one thing currently. Okay, so there are two creatures. So they don't have great stuff yet, which is excellent. We can knock them down very low and theoretically even blow up this Scooze. So we're going to play this land. And there are lands in the bin, correct? I was pretty sure they fetched, but I feel like when you're in that position, it's a good idea to double check if you just have lethal and can force blocks. I think we get a basic island and just play EE onto it. Are there more creatures? There's at least one more creature. I believe it's the Dark Confidant. Yes. EE on 2 is the only card in our hand. If we keep it in our hand, we can fake out a bluff or something. But there are 4 cards in our deck right now that just straight up kill our opponent. I think we do just play this EE. It seems good. Otherwise, we're just going for the bluff. I don't think the bluff has much value here. Chances are they have at least some sort of creature to block, and they can gain life off of Scooze, shrink our Goyfs. The real question in my mind, I don't want to cast that yet. First I want to get the mana. That was green, this will be red. And we're going to cast this for 2, like last time. 1, 2. I don't want a 3-for-1 myself yet, though. I would rather our opponent gain a life than 3-for-1 myself immediately. So, we're going to see what they do. I do think playing EE was best, because if we draw, say, a Huntmaster, EE's not doing anything. I would really love to draw a Huntmaster. That's a Kitchen Finks. So they can't use the Scavenging Ooze unless they have a land drop. They are gaining life, though, which is unfortunate. If they have the land, Scavenging Ooze is going to be very good. They don't appear to. I wonder if I should attack. If they don't play a land, I do attack. Them attacking simultaneously... Okay, they're not attacking. I was going to say, if they attack, it sort of suggests that they don't have the land because they don't want to block with the Scooze. But if they attack, it also suggests that they do have the land because they can interact more favorably. Do we want to fetch right here? I think we do. I don't want to draw the basic island right now. I will grab the basic island out of our deck. Seems good against his Blood Moons, our Blood Moons, everybody Blood Moons. It was a good time. If we draw a burn spell here, we attack with both. They block one, they take some damage. We burn them with the Kitchen Finks trigger on the stack. So they are currently dead to Lightning Bolt and Tarfire, which is fantastic. I like when our opponents are dead to Lightning Bolt and Tarfire. We're just waiting for them to let us do our fetching. They could have a Slaughter Pact. That's possible. Builds of Jund with Kalitas, I believe, ran that not too long ago when Kalitas came out. Although saying Kalitas came out not too long ago is a little off because we're heading into our 3rd block since Battle for Zendikar, and Kalitas was in Oath of the Gatewatch. I believe he was in Oath of the Gatewatch. I don't think he was in BFZ itself. They would run Slaughter Pact and Seal of Fire to get value off of Kalitas the turn he came in. So they could be on that sort of thing. Seeing Pia and Kieran Nalaar makes me think they aren't. I want to play this Wooded Foothill so that we can thin our deck. I also would like to attack because our opponent is so low on life. We're gonna deal 3, he'll gain 2, he goes down to 3. We have this fetch land. If they present lethal, we're just gonna crack our explosives. We're so close to killing them. I do think we want to play the fetch. How many creatures are in the bin right now? Still just the 1. So they can't get Scooze big enough that it just kills us if we fetch. I'm still considering the possibility of not cracking this explosives, though. How good is that? How good is not cracking explosives? If we crack it, we lose our guys, they lose Scooze, they can't gain life. No, that's bad. I don't want to crack it. If we crack the explosives, they have a 2-1 and we have nothing. So that seems bad. I'd rather they have the ability to eat one creature, but if they do, then the Goyfs get bad anyways, but then they're not attacking, and if they're not attacking, we're at least in an adequate position. So I think this is all okay. I think this is okay. They probably just hit us with the Finks because it can't really block favorably. They're swinging with both. I'm going to crack this. No blocks. Select lack of blockers. I neglected the possibility of them attacking with the Kitchen Finks, so now we let them gain a life for basically nothing, meaning that was pretty much a misplay besides making them tap the one green source. So we're going to take 2, and we might be fetching. If we do, we're dead to Bolt, but they don't have red mana available yet, so I think I would rather fetch and thin our deck slightly. So let's do that. They can't kill us immediately, and the closest they'll come to killing us is if they have Bolt in hand right now. Let's get a... I mean, do I want a basic forest in case they slam a Blood Moon? We basically have no possible mana requirements that are hindering us. Do we have, like, a Hooting Mandrills or something? We have a Denial, so we're in an awful position. We didn't immediately get punished for not cracking the explosives right away because we didn't draw Bolt. If we cracked the explosives right away, they wouldn't have been able to gain a life off the Skoos. They'd be at 3, and if we drew a Bolt, they would theoretically be dead if we took the right line. We did not take the right line, but we didn't get punished for it. It unfortunately looks like we're not going to make it out alive regardlessly. And that's an island. That'll do. We're just going to go straight to our turn. GG's opponent. We could not get there. We could not get there. Scavenging Ooze is a very good card. Yeah. People should play more Scavenging Ooze. There you go. Traditional Jund takes it against us. And we are dead. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Jund is at least somewhat rare these days, given that most people think that Death's Shadow is a strictly better version of the deck currently. So, I hope that was a nice little bit of Jund for you, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you for another, probably. Hopefully you guys come back for another, and hopefully I'll play another match of Magic, so let's do it, guys. I'll do it if you do it.